Greetings everyone, you are welcome to this video tutorial. In this video tutorial, we will talk about data file handling in C++ and especially binary files. Binary files, as you all know, they store information in binary format. They are highly accurate for numbers because they store the exact internal representation of values. Binary files are machine dependent. If the new computer uses a different internal representation for values, they cannot be transferred. We have already discussed this in my first video, and now we will talk specially about how to read and write in binary files. Now, binary file functions. Let us first know about the read function. The read function reads a block of binary data or reads a fixed number of bytes from the specified stream and stores in a buffer. And if you can see the syntax is file.read char star ampersand s comma size of s, where s is the block of data which I want to read. Now, to write to a binary file, the function is write. Write function writes a block of binary data or writes fixed number of bytes from a specific memory location to the specified stream. And the syntax is file.write char star ampersand s comma size of s, where s again is a block of data which I want to write on the file. Now, both the functions you can see here, read and write, they take two arguments. The first one, this is the first argument and this is the second argument. The first is the address of a variable and the second is the length of that variable in bytes. The address of the variable must be typecast to char star. Char star is nothing but pointer to character type. So whatever we are writing, they must be typecast to char star. And the second is the size of what we are writing or reading from a file or writing into a file. Now the data written to a file using write can only be read accurately using read function. So remember to use read and write together. If you are using write to write onto a binary file, please use read to read that binary file. Now let us see a program to create a binary file. Now to create a binary file, I want to write a block of data. So I will create a class. This is my class student, suppose, which have two private members, roll number and total. Then there are public member functions in data, in which I will input the data, and another public member function out data, in which I am displaying the data. And then in void main, I will create, as I want to write onto a binary file, I will create an object of class offstream. So you can see fout is an object of class offstream, and then xyz.dat is the name of the binary file which I want to create. You know that in while creating text file, we used to give extension txt, but in binary file, the extension can be dat, dot, or any extension of your choice. And one more thing, it is very important to mention the mode of the file, which is binary here. By default, if we do not mention ios :binary, then it is treated as a text file. So if we are creating a binary file, it is very important and mandatory to give the binary mode while opening the file, which tells that this file is a binary file. Now we'll create an object of class student, students2, and I'm creating two temporary variables. Now I will first input the record which I want to add to my file, number of records which I want to add to my file. See in n is the number of records. I will put a loop while I less than n, I is 0 in the beginning. So as long as I is less than n, what I will do, I will input the data using the statements to.inData. I will call this function inData, which will read the values of roll number and total for the objects 2, and then I will write this object onto the binary file. So the statement would be fout.write char star ampersand 2 comma size of string. We have already understood the syntax of writing this statement. This is the char star type pointer, and I'm writing the address of this block of memory, and this is the size of memory which I want to write to this file. So next I will increment I, and then this loop will continue as long as I is less than n. When I becomes equal to n, the loop will break and I will close my file. So this is how I will create a binary file. The very first time when I want to use a binary file, I first need to create it. So this is a program to create a binary file. Now let us do the sample run of this program. So how when I run this program, what will happen internally in the computer? So let us see the program again. I am first creating an object fout of class of stream and associating it to the file xyz.dat. So this file will be there in the memory. It is created and it is of type binary, which I have mentioned here. Now I am asking the user to input the number of records the user wants to enter. So this will be displayed on the screen, and suppose a user enters 4. So while I is 0, so for 0 is less than 4, the condition is true. So it will ask you to input the data for the object student. So if there are two things, roll number and total. Suppose I enter 1 and 350. So when I execute this statement, fout.write char star ampersand 2 comma size of 2, the data which I entered here through the keyboard will be stored in the file. You can see here this data is stored in the file. Now I is incremented, and again the condition is true. I is less than n because I is 1 now. So again it will ask you to enter the data. So if suppose the data entered this time is 2 and 400. So again fout.write statement is executed, and this data you can see is written like this in a binary file. This is a sample display. This is not the actual one, but this is just I'm trying to explain how the data is stored in a binary file. Then again I will be incremented. Now I is 2 this time, and then which is less than n. So the data entered is suppose 3 and 450. So this data when this statement is executed, fout.write char star ampersand 2 comma size of 2, this data will be stored in the file like this. And then again the I will be incremented and condition is true. So again it will ask you to input the data. So if you enter the data, suppose 4 and 480, so this data will be entered in the file like this. So you can see whatever data you inputted, it will be stored in the file xyz.dat. This is the structure of my binary file like this. So now the next when I is incremented, the condition will become false and my file will close. So this is just a sample look of how your binary file will look when you store your data in it. Now let us write a program to read a binary file which we have already created. Now to read a binary file, I am reading a block of data from a binary file. So I need to create either a class or I can create a structure also. It is your choice. I am creating a class here, class student, and then I am creating two data members, roll number and total. Again the same class which I used in previous program. In data to input data and out data function to display roll number and total. Now in the main, as I have to read a binary file, I will create an object of class ifstream. You can see this ifstream fin. Fin is an object of class ifstream, and I will associate it to the file xyz.dat which I created in my previous program. And then again, it is really mandatory to include ios ;: binary, that is the binary mode of the file. Otherwise, this will be treated as a text file. Now I am checking if not fin. This condition will tell me if my file is not existing. It may happen that the file name which I have given is not existing. So it will check. If it is not existing, it will display error in opening file and my program will end. I will exit from the program. Otherwise, I will create an object of class student. Then I am giving one read statement outside the loop, as I already discussed in the case of text files also. So my read statement will be fin.read char star ampersand 2 comma size of 2. So when we open the file in the input mode, my file pointer is always in the at the first record. So when I give this statement, this first record will be stored in the stu buffer. Now while not fin.eof, unless or until the end of file is reached, I will display stu.out data. So 1 and 350 will be displayed, and then I will read the next record, and the next record is 2 and 400. So this data will be stored in the object stu. So there's no need to give I++, and then while not fin.eof, again unless or until the file is EOF file is not reached, it will keep on reading the data and displaying it like this. So you can see this 2400 will be displayed on the screen like this, and it will read the next record which is 3450, and this is displayed on the screen like this, and then the next record will be read which is 4480, and it will be displayed on the screen like this. Please ignore this I++. And now the end of file has been reached. You can see there is no more record after this, and so the loop will break and I will close my file. Now suppose my file is already created and I want to add new records to my binary file. So let us do the program to add new records. Again, I am using the same class student, in which there are two data members, roll number and total, and then the public member function in data to input the data in these two data members, and the public member function out data to display the values of these data members. Now in the main, as I want to add new records, adding new record means writing into the file. So again, I will open the file I will create an object of offstream, and see, you can see here fout is an object of offstream class. I associate this object to xyz.dat, which is already created, and then I have to use two modes. One is the binary mode, as my file is binary file, and the second is the append mode. This we have already discussed, that while adding the records I have to open the file in append mode, because I do not use the append mode, then my file will be truncated, all the records will be deleted from the file. If I open my file in offstream mode without the append mode, then all the data which is already there will be deleted from the file. So it is very important to note that to add new records, please add this mode, append, which is APP. And again, I will create an object of class student, and I will ask the number of records the user want to add to a file. And this is again scene n, and then while I less than n, I will ask the user to input the data, whichever data the user wants to store in the file xyz.dat, and using the statement fout.write char star &2 comma size of 2, the data which I read just now will be written onto the file associated with the object fout. So this loop will terminate when the value of I becomes equal to n, and after that I will close my file. So let us see the sample run of this program so that it becomes more clear to you. See, I'm opening my file in the offstream. I'm creating an object of offstream class. So it is very important to mention this mode append, because if I don't mention this mode, then all the records will get truncated. So as soon as I give this command, you can see here that my previous file will get opened, in which there were 4 records, and then I'm asking the user to input the number of records he wants to add to a file. So in this he has entered 2. You can see here 2 has been entered. Now 2 is less than I is 0, so 0 is less than 2, so the condition is true. So then stu.inData function will be called. So in this function, again we have to input two values, one for roll number and the other for total. So the user has entered 5 and 380. So this data is now written onto the file using the command fout.write char star &2 comma size of 2. We can see here, it is very important that in the case of append mode, the file pointer is at the end of the file. So whatever record we want to add, that is always added at the end of the file. You cannot add the record in between. Using the append mode, I can add records only at the end of the file. You can see here the data which I have entered will be added to the file as the last record. So again, I will be incremented and the condition is again true. So again the program will ask the user to input the data, and suppose the data entered this time is 466. So this data will also be written using the command fout.write char star &2 comma size of 2. So you can see here again this record will also be inserted at the end of the file. After the record 5, 380, this data is inserted. And my new this file is now, it will look like this, in which 2 records have already been added. This was the previous file, and now this is the new look of my file, in which there are total 6 records. Now let us do a program to modify a record. Now to modify a record, what we are doing, we are creating a class student, in which we are inputting there are 2 data members, roll number and total, and again a member function in data to input the values in these data members, and the member function out data to display the data. And there is one more member function which we are using here, which is int red roll. This function will simply return the data member roll number. This function is needed because we have to check, this is a class, so these data fields cannot be accessed outside the class. So we need one function to retrieve the value of this data member. So let us see how we will use this function later in this program. So this is the end of my class. Now I will create main. In the main, as I have to modify a record, I want to I will use the same strategy. I will take two files. I will read my original file, that is xyz.txt.dat, using the ifstream object. I will attach it to the ifstream object, which is fin here, and I will use binary again because this is my binary file. Then I will again create one object of offstream class, and I will associate that to any other file, suppose def.dat here. Of course, it is a binary file. So my logic is that I will, to modify a record, I will read all the records of my first file xyz.dat, and I will write all the records onto the new file def.dat, and the record which I want to modify will be written in a modified manner in this new file. I will modify that record and then I will write it into the new file. So this is how I am writing the program to modify a record. Now again I will check if not fin, if the file which I am going to read is not existing, I will display error in opening file and I will exit. Otherwise, I am creating an object of class student, and this is a variable role in which I will ask the user to input a roll number whose record we want to modify. This roll number will be inputted using the scene statement. Now I will read my file, as this file is opened in the input mode. This is the object of an ifstream class. The file pointer is at the beginning of the file. So the first record will be read into this object stu. So when I give the statement fin.read char star ampersand stu comma size of stu, the first record present in the file will be stored in the buffer stu. Now I will use the loop while not fin.eof unless or until the end of file is reached. If stu.retroll is equal to roll. Please look at this line carefully. Stu.retroll means I am calling the function retroll for the object stu. As this is a class and all the data members are private, so I cannot write stu.roll number. This is invalid. So I have to use a function retroll which will return the roll number of this particular object stu. So this function will return the roll number. So I will get the roll number here and I will compare this roll number with the roll number which the user has entered. So if they are same, it means I have to modify this record. So I will input the data. I will input the new data in this object. And then otherwise I don't have to do anything. I have to write the previous record only. So then the next statement will be fout.write char star ampersand stu comma size of stu. It means I will write the object stu onto the file and then I will read the next object from the file xyz.dat. So here you can see here fin.read char star ampersand stu comma size of stu will read the next record onto the object stu. Now when the end of file is reached, when all the records of xyz.dat are read, I will close both fin and fout, both the streams will be closed, and then I will remove my old file xyz.dat and I will rename my new file def.dat to xyz.dat. So now the new name of def.dat is my old name xyz.dat. This is I hope you have understood how to modify a record. You just open two files, one in input mode and the other is in output mode. Then read all the records one by one of this input of the file which is open in input mode, and if the roll number which you are looking for is found, just input the data for that roll number again and write the records onto the file fout. So this is how it is done. Let us see a sample run of this program. So here you can see here the program will ask you to input to enter the roll number of student. You can see here this is the first line. When I run my program, I am opening the files and then this is the first line, enter roll number of student whose record you want to modify. So this statement will be displayed. Suppose I want to modify the record of student roll number 3. So it will ask you to input data for this, and suppose the data entered is 3 and 490. So you can see here this is my file xyz.dat which is already created. This is the file and this is my file def.dat. So this file is in off stream mode, so it is empty in the beginning. And this is already created file. So if you look at the program again, now I will read first record from the file and while not fin.tof, I will check whether the record which I have read, the roll number of that record is equal to the roll number which the user has entered. So the roll number is 3. So the first record is 1350. As this roll number is 1 and this is 3, they do not match. I will simply write this record onto the new file def.dat. You can see here. Then I will read the next record. The next record is 2, 400. Again, the roll number 2 is not 3. Roll number, it is not equal to roll number 3. So this record will also be written onto the new file def.dat like this only. Then I will read the next record 3, 450. See, this is the record which I want to modify. So to modify this record, you can see here the roll number has been found. So I will input the data again for this student. You can see here. So if the data input is 3490, you see this is the new data which I want to enter for this record. So this data will now be written to the file def.dat. So you can see here, instead of 3450, the new data is 3490. Then I will read the next record, which is 4480. As again the roll number 4 is not same as roll number 3. So this record will also be written as it is onto the file def.dat. Now my file has reached the end. XYZ has ended here. So you can see here, this is, I will close both the files and then I will use the remove and rename statement. So I will close my both files XYZ and def, and then I will rename, I will remove this file xyz.dat and I will rename def.dat to xyz.dat. This is my modified file. See, you can see here the record 3490, which was earlier 450, it is now 490. This is how I can modify my file using two files. This is the easiest way. Otherwise, there are many other ways. You can use a way of your choice. Now let us learn how to delete a record from a binary file. Now to delete a record, again I will use a class student here, in which there are two data members, roll number and total. And then there is a member function in data to input the data members, and the member function out data to display the data, to display the values of the data members. Again in this I am using a function retroll, which is returning a roll number, because again these are the private members of the class which cannot be accessed outside the class. So I am using main. To delete a record, I am using the same logic. I will first open the file from which I want to delete in the input mode. See, I have created an object of ifstring class, and this is the binary mode because this is a binary file. And I will open one more file in the offstream mode. You can see here fout is an object of class offstream, and I am associating it with the file def.dat, and again it is a binary file. Now the strategy is that I will read the records of this file xyz.dat one by one, and I will write all the records onto this new file def.dat except the record which I want to delete. And after that, I will close both the files and I will remove my original file, and I will rename my new file as my old file. So this is the logic which I have used. So you have seen here, you can see here, this is the file xyz.dat I have opened in ifstream mode, and this is the new file def.dat which I have opened in offstream mode. Now I am checking if not fin. It means if this file is not existing, I will see out the error in opening file and I will exit from the program, because there is no point in reading a file which is not existing. Then I will create an object of class student. I am also creating a variable roll, and I will enter the roll number of student whose record I want to delete. So I will input this roll number. Now when I open the file in ifstream mode, my file pointer is at the beginning of the file. So when I give this command fin.read *2, comma size of stu, so the first record will be read and stored in the object stu. I will use the loop while not fin.uf unless or until the end of file is not reached. I will check if stu.readroll not equal to roll, because the roll number which is stored in stu, as I cannot access the roll number directly because this is the private member of a class, I will use the function readroll to return the roll number. So it will return the roll number which is stored in stu. I will check it with the roll number entered by the user. You can see here. If they are not equal, then I will write this into the file fout, which is associated to the file def. So I will use the object fout to write onto the file def using the command fout.write char star &2 comma size of stu. And if they are equal, in that case I don't have to write this record, so I have not given that condition. If they are not equal, only then I will write all the records onto the new file def.dat. Then again I will read the next record from my file xyz.dat, and this loop will continue unless or until the end of file is reached. And in this way all the records will be written to the new file fout, which is associated with file def.dat, except the record which I want to delete. After that I will close both my files. I will remove my previous file xyz.dat, which is which has been changed now, and I will rename my file def.dat to xyz.dat. So def.dat is now existing by the name xyz.dat, which was my old file. And you can see for these two functions you need to include the header file stdio.h. So this is how you can delete a record from the binary file. So if you see the sample one, I will first enter the roll number of record, roll number of student whose record I want to delete, and suppose 4 is the roll number whose record we want to delete. So let us suppose this is my sample binary file xyz.dat, in which there are 5 records. So again, when I run this program, a binary file def.dat will be created, and in the beginning this file is empty. Now the first record, you can see I will read the first record like this. So first record is 1350. So this record will be read from the binary file xyz.dat, and the roll number 1 does not match with roll number 4. So this record will be written to the file def.dat. Now you can see here, I will again read the next record, print.read. So the next record is 2400. Now this record will be read, and again this roll number does not match with 4. So this record will also be written onto the new file def.dat. Then again the next record will be read. So next record is 3450, and then again the roll number does not match with the roll number entered by the user. So this record will also be written to the file def.dat. Now again the next record will be read, which is 4480. Now this roll number is the same which the user wants to delete. So this record will not be written to the file. You can see here this record is not written to the file def.dat. And again the next record is read, which is 5380. And again this roll number does not match with the roll number of the record which the user wants to delete. So this record will also be written to the file def.dat. So you can see here in the file def.dat, roll number 4, the record of roll number 4 is not present. So I will at the end I will close both the files, and I will remove this file xyz.dat, and I will rename this file def.dat as xyz.dat. So this is my modified xyz.dat file from which the record 4 has been deleted. So this is all for this session. I hope you like this video, and if you really like it, please give thumbs up, and you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.